This is the third in a series of resources that look at broad topics in macroeconomics. Part 1 considers the gross domestic product, defining it in each component part, working through a couple of examples, and considering the limitations of the GDP as a measure of welfare. Part 2 considers the difference between public and private goods and looks at certain issues arising from public goods. Part 3 inspects the difference between real and nominal measures, working through an example. Part 4 looks at unemployment, providing definitions for various types of unemployment, and also defining other factors involved in calculating unemployment rates. Part 5 considers the Consumer Price Index, defining it, working through examples, and explaining how the CPI applies to actual, real-world problems. Part 6 looks at economic growth, suggesting general methods countries use to expand their economy. The real nominal principle is a central concept to macroeconomics. It is the difference between what something is worth and what it is really worth. In other words, it is the difference between purchasing power of money and face value. Purchasing power is how much you can buy with a given amount of money. Face value is the amount printed on the bill or stamped on the coin. The reason for this difference is inflation. For example, the penny piece of bubble gum I remember from my childhood now costs at least 5 cents, if not more. How do economists account for this difference when calculating gross domestic product? We calculate the nominal GDP using current prices. In other words, nominal GDP uses the face value of the money. However, nominal gross domestic product is not a useful measure of economic growth. Increases may result from two possible sources. The production of the nation may actually have increased, which is ideal. However, the increase in GDP could have been caused by inflation. So how can economists compare the gross domestic product for different years? They use the real gross domestic product. This measure controls for changes in price and therefore eliminates the effects of inflation. To do so, economists calculate the real GDP using the price level from the base earlier year. Let's see an example. A local corner store sells 16-ounce bottles of soda. During the year 2000, the sodas cost $1 each and 300 sodas were sold. In 2010, the price of the soda increased to $1.50 each and 325 sodas were sold. We want to calculate the nominal and real earnings for this corner store. First, we can find the nominal earnings for the year 2000. We multiply 300 bottles by $1 per bottle for nominal earnings of $300. We can do the same for the year 2010. Multiply the 325 bottles sold by the unit price of $1.50 per bottle. This gives nominal earnings of $487.50. How do these figures change if we calculate the real earnings? Nothing changes when we find the real earnings for the base year. Multiply the 300 bottles sold by the unit price per bottle of $1. This gives real earnings for the year 2000 of $300. When we find the real earnings for the later year, we use the price level from the base year. To find the real earnings from soda sales in 2010, we multiply the 325 bottles sold by the base price of $1 per soda. This gives real earnings of $325. In summary, economists give nominal amounts at face value. This is opposed by real amounts, which are given using costs from some base year. This eliminates increases caused by inflation. Looking at the macro scale, nominal gross domestic product is always higher than real gross domestic product.